T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to the Trap Talk Podcast presents Holy Monitor Sessions. That's right, it's Sunday. It's all about the lizards. And boy, do we have a sick-ass guest in store for us tonight, man. But what is good, everybody? I'm your boy, MJ. If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast I drop on the Trap Talk Podcast YouTube channel. If you listen to me on any other audio platform, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Google Play, all those audio platforms, well, guess what? Trap Talk Podcast is on there. In case you're overseeing my face or the guest face, mainly probably my face, but you can just listen to me on the audio platforms. I get a lot of great downloads every fucking month. I got to say, over 10K downloads a month I'm hitting on those platforms. So if you do listen to me on those platforms, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And thank you for spending your life with me, man. What a great time and year it's been. I hope you've had a great year so far. My year is ending with a bang. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah, what a great week we have in store for the last weeks of Trap Talks. Well, no, we got one more week after this. Got ahead of myself. But next two guests coming up this Thursday night are going to be pretty heavy. So either way, I hope you guys are ready. Make sure you, like I said, tune in. And it's important if you hit that subscribe button. Your boy's trying to hit 6K by the end of the year. I think I'm 120 subscribers away from 6K. Can we get there? If you're in the monitor game and you're first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button, man. I want to that will really mean a lot to me. All right, appreciate it. Shout out to all the early birds. I see you guys there. I'll get to you guys in a second. I do want to say tonight's episode is brought to you by Sim Container, baby. That's right. If you got eggs, put them inside of a sim box. Less steps, less stress. If it's a sim, it's a win all day, every day. Every egg I've hatched has been out of a sim container. And yeah, they're the best. I'm telling you right now. New designs coming out of Sim Container. I can tell you that. Be ready. I can't tell you too much on that, but just be ready, like I said, because it's going to be amazing. John, Alex, appreciate your love and support. Really means a lot. And yeah, shout out to you if you use sim boxes, because I'm telling you right now, they're the best, especially if you have fragile eggs, if you have in stuff that's really hard to hatch out and whatnot, man. If you need that humidity to be perfect, but you can't have it too wet, that's why sim containers are the best. They can come through with stuff like that. If you're looking for exclusive content, first and foremost, I want to say shout out to my Patreon members. Thank you so much. I love the love and support. I mean, I just got 2 new Patreon members today. Man, I think that shit's growing by the day. I'm not joking, man. But anyways, if you're looking to be a part of more than what you see here on this podcast, if you want to tap into a community full of sick-ass keepers, I'm dead-ass serious, man. We just had Brian Cusco join the family, another awesome keeper that just joined the family earlier today as well. So I'm just saying, if you become a part of the Trap Talk Patreon family, as soon as you do, you get a link to the Discord. The Discord will tap you in with over 150 trappers. I throw a big ass festival for all of us once a year called Trap Fest, which is going to be amazing. Are you going to come to Trap Fest? Man, can't wait. Love my Patreon members. Again, thank you so much. Exclusive content being released on the Patreon community platforms only for my Patreon members. But really, the Discord, man, is where it's really at. It's where it's really on and popping. And yeah, I just say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to my Patreon members. You guys really will get me fucking going. And yeah, to the top. Appreciate all you. If you want to see what I have going on Instagram and other stuff rather than just podcast stuff, then go follow me on Instagram, TrapGod619. I have a lot of my projects and, stuff that I do with animals is all over my Instagram. Very active. So hit me up on Instagram, TrapGod619, and follow the podcast's Instagram page as well, the Trap Talk Podcast. Please, if you're on Facebook, go give my new Facebook page a like and follow the Trap Talk Podcast. If you're watching on Facebook right now, go give me a like or a love. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Facebook. Me and Facebook are just becoming such good friends. I love it. Who's ready for tonight, though, man? Man, gotta say, I'm coming off a high with a monitor session as far as, the last guest I just had that was related to the monitor talk was good old John Adranya from Sip Container, the sponsor of tonight's episode. Man, you gotta, if you want to talk about legends and people on that realm of you should be listening to in the monitor game, then I gotta tell you right now, this episode, Uncle Mike, this is gonna be a huge, like, peanut butter and jelly type sandwich, man. So I just hope you guys are ready for tonight's episode, because there's a lot to tap in with Uncle Mike's do-it-yourself enclosures. If you want to talk about enclosures that have running water and stuff like that, and that's dicey, tricky stuff to do. You got to be on top of your shit when it comes to stuff like that. And this guy has it all down, man. He's gone through a lot of trial and errors from what we've talked about, but we're going to tap into his do-it-yourself skills, and we're also going to be tapping into some of his more sought after projects that he's trying to hit this coming 2023. The Similis monitors and a couple other awesome stuff. So just be ready. It's going to be an awesome time. Don't be shy with the super chats. If you out there are looking for a certain topic, or if you have a certain question, or you want to just give Uncle Mike props, man, do not be shy with the super chats. Come correct. Let's go, man. Who is in the building ready? Look, I already see a super chat. That's what I'm talking about. Who's ready to rock and roll? Slithery Serpents, what is up? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Justin Campbell, what is up, Justin Campbell? Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Chantel, first Patreon member in the live chats. What is up, homegirl? Thanks for being here. JKJ Reptiles, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for being here. Julio Fulio, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. Deviant Glass, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Lizard Man 0897, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Sunshine State, Sulfurs, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. Bods Exotics, what's up, homie? Appreciate you being here, Jeremy. Brad's Bioactive Builds, sick. I hope your bioactives are going good for you, man. I really mean that. Thanks for tapping in. Dom 702 Serpents, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. Serpent Eclipse, the homie Adler, big homie right here. Big things popping with me and the homie Adler. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Big things popping with me and the homie Adler. Make sure you give him a follow on Instagram. It's a good buddy of mine, and yeah, like I said, he's a big part of my new logo launch and all sorts of amazing things. He's such a good guy, so hit him up. Constrictor Connection, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. Scale, Fins, and Feathers, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Homie Josh coming through tomorrow. We have something going on for sure, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow, man. Tap in. The homie Jacob, Letter Better Fetter. What is up, Jacob? Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you so much. Trap Talk Patreon member, the fucking professor of the Patreon page. I'm telling you right now, man, this guy right here is a wizard. I'm so confident in this guy's Morphs knowledge abilities. I'm telling you right now, go tap in with my boy Jacob. Civil Serpents. Third Eye Pythons. What is up, player? Thanks for tapping in. Susie, what's up, Susie? Thanks for tapping in. Jaffe, what's up, Jaffe? Thanks for tapping in. Dude, where's Uncle Mike at, bro? Is he good? Yo, Uncle Mike, where you at? This one needs to hurry up. All right. Jaffe, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you. Ricky Bobby already with the first, better not be the last, but the very first super chat of the night. Thank you so much. My homie Shane in the building. And let's see. Bosa Balls, what's up, Kike? Thanks for tapping in. The homie fucking Heathen Hatchery, Big Brian in the building. Trap Top Patreon member all day, every day. Lady Tiss Exotics, the homegrown Nicole, what is up? Thanks for tapping in. Let's see. Golem Demons, what is up, player? Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you so much. Riverband Serpents, what is up? Thanks for tapping in. Stonehenge Ball Pythons. Damn, mad people in the building. Appreciate it. A1 Genetics, what is up? Thanks for tapping in. JKJ already said it was, damn, who's up? Tamitha Reptiles. All right, guys. Well, listen, I might need to go on another rant here because I don't know where the fuck Uncle Mike's at. And Uncle Mike is, let's just call him, listen, I'm a very transparent person. Let's just, let me see. There we go. I mean, whatever we got to do, right? Hey, are you gonna still come on the podcast? Because we're ready whenever you are, buddy. No, you're not. You got to click all the way through. I don't even see you. You're not even all the way in, my man. So go and click all the way through. Thank you. Let's go. Uncle Mike's coming in. I'm ready to go. Listen, you know how we get these things started. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Okay, get your mind right, but be ready. Buckle up. It's gonna get hot. It's gonna get heavy because it's gonna be all about that monitor talking. We're talking with one of the best in the game tonight, Uncle Mike Stefani. You ready? I know I'm ready. It's about to go down right now. Let's go. Cheers.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasters?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
A little monitor talk, a little how you doing. Here we go. Mike's monitors, baby, in the flesh. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Dude, I was like, don't tell me. Yeah, look at that. Is that like your official water? Is that your
Yeah,
water?
it's my water thing. Yeah,
You take that everywhere you go, huh?
everywhere. I heard you say stay hydrated. Well, I got to stay hydrated too. You know.
Hey, listen, it keeps you going, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. How you doing, Mike?
Good, buddy. Thanks for being a part of, round two, but first time during the monitor segment, which is more fitting than anything to have you be a part of this. So thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. But how you living, man? Let everybody know how you're doing over there, bro.
Everything's good. I mean, I'm up here in Cheeseland. It's getting a little cold. I know you wouldn't make it up here, Mike. It's too cold for you.
Amen, bro. You know, listen, I live we live I don't know. It's realistic to us, but really there's no seasons where I'm at, man. It's kind of you guys, it gets cold, but it ain't cold. Like we don't lose fucking, like trees and shit. Our trees still stay,
Right.
But I mean, either way, it's something I appreciate whenever I go visit other places. Cause I grew up visiting the East Coast, going back east and shit. And like, I know I used to love the snow. I mean, but living in it, it's different. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Well, I did move to Florida. I was there for like 4 years, and believe it or not, I missed the 4 seasons, so I came back home.
Listen, so you've been very active, man. I got to say, ever since I've met you, and since you've kind of been coming on people's podcasts, I seen you really teaming up and going on people's lives on Instagram and just like really talking any chance you get. And I got to say, what's really been inspiring you to do that, Mike?
Well, as far as doing the live stuff, that's kind of like, when I'm here with my boys and it's at nighttime, it's more like a nighttime thing down here in the basement to show what's going on at night. Because you see the pictures all the time, but you never see what's going on at night. Right. And we got about 45 minutes before the lights go out here. But yeah, I got a lot of shit going on. And as far as going on other people's lives, it's good to, help people out and pass the word around, do that USARK commercial thing or whatever you call it, promo to get people to join. It's all love, man. It's just for the love of this hobby and the people in it, Yeah, there you go.
I think you're a huge USARK advocate, man. You out there, Mike, go far and beyond as far as what people should do in the positions they are with certain animals on how they should support people like USARK. So I got to say your energy standing behind USARK is very inspiring, my man. So good job on that.
All right. And then along with USARK, I mean, come on, man. This is it's going to be 2023. We ain't kids. We should give the both because, USARK Florida. There you go. That's the epicenter, man. Whatever happens there, it's going to it's going everywhere like wildfire. So if we could stop putting out fires in Florida, then it helps everyone across the country. But so you always donate to the auctions for both causes, because without either one of them, we're toast. We're done.
I just had this conversation, Uncle Mike, not too long ago about the big problem with people who have a problem with Florida people kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And that's the extreme content creators kind of doing what's just making Florida look worse. But that's not all the keepers. You got to understand there's so many legendary keepers who aren't a part of that realm of YouTube. Like they're just fucking like legendary keepers of our times that are being threatened by this. And I feel like we shouldn't turn the cheek on that at all. Like I don't care where you live, man. If USARK Florida sinks, then that's the first step to the whole hobby sinking. I got to tell you that right now.
That's it. You know what? I've been in this a long time, and I've heard these stories coming and going, but you know what? This is different. This is different. This day and age with all these computer social media platforms, it's different, and they're coming at us hard and heavy, and they're the fun police. They don't want you to do nothing. And I mean, literally, unless you have a dog or a cat, but if you keep goldfish, one of them little porcupine looking things, them hedgehogs,
right.
Whatever you keep, parrots, they want to kill it all. So you got to join the fight, and it's real easy to do. So check out USARK and USARK Florida and throw them a subscription, follow them, share their stuff. It's all love, man.
Yeah, and before we kind of keep going on this topic, I do want to let everyone know that Uncle Mike has a picture going on in a contest that obviously should be a no-brainer. He should definitely be in this calendar. But if all you guys can do is just head over to usarkflorida.net, donate anything as low as $1, and just put T13B. That's all you need to put to vote for this sick-ass picture here. So Spotted Tree Monitor, which is also the Similis. Is this correct?
Yes, Varanus Similis, yes.
Man, and listen, Uncle Mike, I'm not going to lie. When you kind of inquired these animals, I think it was earlier this year or was it last year? When did you?
That was earlier this year.
And I knew how stoked you were, right? And I was so busy on my lace, high still that I was just like, yeah, like, and I had my tree monitors. I just didn't really see what it was that, other than the rarity, which should still matter more than anything. I just didn't really understand how sick these things were until I went over to John's house, and John has these, and I got to mess with them, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? It really was like, it was it. It's just one of those animals to where, like, okay, if you don't really kind of understand its respect through a picture, wait till you see it in person. And it's just like a lot more chill of a tree. It's like, all the tree monitors I usually work with or mess with are just trying to get out of your hands. You know what I mean? And these weren't that bad. And they're more like, I want to say like sturdy. And I don't know. It's just, I was really taken back by this species of monitors. But guys, please go vote for this picture right now. USARK Florida. And Mike, real quick, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is to get this photo into the USARK Florida calendar. Is that correct?
It's to get it into the 2023 calendar, but along with that, which would be great for me, if you give one vote, it's $1, and it goes to the USARK Florida. So, we need every penny. I've gotten some votes, and I appreciate everybody. But yeah, more for me, it's more like donations going to the USARK that's important.
Beautiful. Now, I mean, let's kind of talk about how we could, at the end of the day, what's going to take people to realize how important Florida is by them visiting Florida. You would say that, right? That's correct, right?
Absolutely. If you're anybody, I don't care if you got one ball python. If you're in this racket, if you're in this industry, there's no explanation needed. You can see it since the beginning of this year. Oh man, they've increased the bans. They just squashed the diamondback terrapin breeding project. I mean, you know, it's a perfect climate for diamondback terrapins. Why would you? And if they're, you know, critically endangered and a threatened species, why put the thumb down on it? I don't get it. You know, I get their point of view, but also along with, you know, helping these endangered and threatened species out through commercialization, that's, you know, that's very important. So if I am successful breeding these Varana Similis, for example, and I get, you know, 3, 4, 5 clutches a year, you know, I don't ask too much for my animals. And it's better than buying the wild caught ones that are all jacked up and you got to take them to the vet and rehydrate them and give them flagell panicure and all the other stuff. So, yeah, you got to support captive breeding. And in doing so, the theory is you'll ease the wild caught, the strain that comes from all the wild caughts. Why would you buy a wild caught when you could have a captive born right here in the country?
And if you are like me and you live in a place that isn't technically affected, but yet you're doing really well with animals and everything seems like, wow, this is so great. Well, understand that not everything is this great all the way around the board. Like there's things that haven't hit you reality yet that could be a possibility if you don't proactively help the places that need help. You know what I mean? And listen, Uncle Mike, I got to tell you, the only reason why I'm on the same page with USARK is as much as you are is because of the people I met going to shows. I didn't even know how to pronounce USARK the first 2 years I was even in this. I had no clue what the fuck really it was, and did I even care to support it? I really didn't until I actually went to USARK auctions, until I actually seen the passion behind what it is that USARK's doing. It changed my whole perspective. It made me realize if you're lucky enough to be doing good in a fucking hobby like this, this is a place where you give back. Like by giving back, it only comes back tenfold to you. Like Uncle Mike, how many times have you seen a situation where you were just being kind at heart, giving back, and something had just come back your way, and you're like, wow, that's crazy how that happens. I feel like that happens infinite in this game. In the animal game, it's like, man, the more you give, the more that comes your way. It's not don't use it as a advantage to get things. I'm just saying, like, it's just the energy. Like, it's like by you putting out shit and being that guy, things just land in your lap too. It's kind of taking care of each other. That's just how it works.
Absolutely. Like, for example, I'm getting old, man, and I've made my money. I've made fortunes. I've lost fortunes. I've pissed them away. I've done a lot of crazy shit in my life. But I'm at the point in my life now where I love these animals, and I don't really care how much money I make. My wife, on the other hand, she's like my governor. I got to make money. I mean, sure, I got to keep the lights going and everything. But, man, for example, I'm sure you were there too, nephew. It was the one USARK auction where his screen name on Facebook is like B Easley or something like that. He's a young dude. He's got a beard, but he won one of my Mertens monitors, and he bring it over here, and he was talking to me about it, and just the excitement on that kid's face and the joy in his heart, that was worth it to me. And USARK got the money for it. Beautiful. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, what feeds the reason why I am the way I am is because of the people I've met and the way they treated me. I just feel like I'm in a good place. I mean, shit, you know how it is when we all meet each other at shows and you see my company, I see your company, we all get along. It's like one big family. It's like, how can you be any time like that at anything that you love? It's like, I got to tell you, I don't even get like that kind of feeling. It's unfortunate, but even with my own family, not my immediate family, but when I go to family gatherings and big events, I don't even feel that no more with them. The only time I really feel at home, the only time I really feel like I'm with family, if it's not my immediate family, is when I'm at a reptile show. I got to tell you, it's when I feel like, that's when we're hugging and kissing, bro. It's the best.
Absolutely.
It's the best time ever. You're smelling how good I am.
Yeah, indeed. I was gonna say without the show, I wouldn't know how nice you smell. Hey, and damn, dude, you smell nice.
It's the weed, Uncle Mike. That's what it is, man.
Dude, come on, man. You smelled like some Calvin Dior or some shit, man, or Calvin Cleavage or whatever that shit is, but it smells good.
Hey, I kind of want to get into what the game plan is. You going into 2023? I mean, a lot of stuff we talked about in the very first podcast. You and I was a lot of your foundation projects, but now with the Similis, and I think there's another project that is kind of like a passion project on top of the others. I forget what species that is. What other species?
That's Varanus togienus. They're togienus. They call them water monitors, but my personal opinion is it's more of a forest type monitor with some, aquatic tendencies. But man, are these things beautiful. So going way back, like when me and John were, instead of 4'11", we were like 3'11". We were young guys. And I'd known Varanus togienus from one picture in a book. And I always thought, man, what a beautiful animal. And that's all I ever seen was one from that picture. And then John had imported some. And at the moment, they were fresh imports. I wasn't really interested in them, but in the back of my head, I was. And then an opportunity came up where I traded away my original breeder, Mertens, and I got the trio of togienus. And man, I'm blown away by these animals. These things are so cool. They're jet black. They got a little bit of speckling on their backs, but their throat and chest is like white zebra stripes, and they have white rings around their black nose. They're just, man, they're beautiful. They're huffy and puffy. They got real big attitudes, and yeah, they're great. So that's one of my goals for 2023. I got to put some eggs in the incubator from them.
And these are the size of what? Like an actual water monitor these get, or what's the size of these, you would say?
No, sir. These guys get to about the size of an adult Mertens or a peach throat. So like 4 foot.
Dude, they look like lace monitors, bro. Like, what the hell? These are so cool looking, bro.
They look like a melanistic lace monitor. They do, with that ring around their nose.
Now I gotta say, man, I mean, I talked to a lot of different people who've worked with
See that one? I don't mean to interrupt you, nephew. That one back there with the next picture that you had.
Yeah.
The last one with the lone animal.
It's moving on its own. It's coming right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that right there. So you could see his attitude in that picture.
Yeah,
his throat is puffed up. His head was arched. They just got such a big presence. I love them.
So what I was saying is, I from what I understand, when it comes to like best case scenario with the species of lizard, like temperament wise and size wise, if it all goes well, lace monitors are pretty like, and not to be biased, I heard lace monitors are pretty like the best as far as that goes. But what is this compared to that? Like, how's the temperament with these? Are these seem to be like very like easy to tame down, or what's it been so far working with these type of species? I'm curious.
Okay, well, these came in as young adults or older juveniles, so they're wild caught. So they're definitely afraid of humans. The humans grabbed them, threw them in a sack, tied their arms behind their back, kept them in a shitty conditions until they finally made their way to the United States. And then my friend Steve Sainton, he's had them he had them over a year before I got them. So he did a lot of the socialization with them, but they're not social. They're not nothing like,
God bless them. They're straight out of the wild. God damn it, man. Like, what do you this is crazy. This is next level right here.
Yeah, and these are really they're afraid of the monkey. They're afraid of me. I got 2 of them, they'll tongue feed. So they're becoming better and better. I'm just looking forward to what I could do with their babies.
And real quick, remind me demographically where are these found again?
They're Indonesian, so they're like these are actually from the Togian Islands off the coast of Sulawesi. So,
dude, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
this would be nuts, Uncle Mike. This is the type of shit this hobby needs for sure. This is kind of like my. This is like, I mean, I would say even more rare than working with emerald tree boas because this is a generation 1 right here, right?
Yeah, these have never been bred in captivity, period. Right. For sure in the United States, I know they've never been bred. So I'm hoping to do it, not for that, just for that animal. I mean, I would love to get that into other people's hands and have more people breeding them. And you know, the ones from the Togian Islands rarely come in. So
Right.
you do see the ones from the Sulawesi mainland, which aren't as pretty, in my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, like you were talking about the lace monitors. I mean, I've never worked with lace monitors, but yeah, these are more like the Similis monitors, where while they are calm, because I tweezer feed all my Similis, so they become used to me. These I'm starting to tongue feed with them. I got the 2 that'll tongue feed, but yeah, they don't want nothing to do with the monkey at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then let's kind of talk about something which, you know, think about how many people out there, like myself, my very first monitor was from a pet store, you know, and it was a $50 Nile monitor. It was a fucking awesome, beautiful monitor, mind you, but it was this thing never got the thing to calm down. Mainly, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? But let's kind of talk about what you're doing right now, right? Even though this pair of monitor species was in your buddy's possession for X amount of time, what are you doing differently? Or is it just like you would do with any other monitor as far as how you have them set up, interaction? What do you do effort? Are you doing extra effort into establishing something like this? Or is it just like everything else with Mike Monitor's game program?
Well, so over the years of hatching out Mertens and Coming Eye and the sulfurs now, I come up with an enclosure design technique, so to speak. So all these water monitors and these Togianis, they're kind of aquatic, or they have aquatic tendencies. So what I do is I've noticed with my hatchling Mertens and, you know, Coming Eye, their number one source of security seems to be in the water. So what I've done is I've come up with these enclosures here. There's no substrate on the bottom at all. It's all straight water, and it's all drained, so I don't have to go in there for anything. And like if they're sitting up on a basking platform and they're getting a little leery and they're uncomfortable, they dive down into the water. Now, when they're in the water, they're 100% secure. Yet you could see right through the crystal clear water and see them. But that's not the point to them. The point to them is they're in the water and they can't be seen, so they feel safe. And then it's part of the other part of this caging method that I've kind of developed over the years is I take my cork tubes and I drill them. They look like Swiss cheese, but the animals can bask on top of them. They could bask from within them, so they could cryptically bask, they could openly bask, and then you pass the food through these open holes, these little portholes, right. And they feel totally secure. And so they have the water, they have the cork tubes to hide in. You feed your food, you know, through the portholes, and they just become really super docile to the point where by the time people buy them from me, you could just put your hand out like this and they'll walk right up to you. So that, wow. You know, I don't want people just to, you know, keep them and look at them. I want them to enjoy them, and I want my monitors to have a good brain. I want them to be socially strong and not afraid. That's all of this stuff. When animals run from you, it's because they're scared. So right. You got to calm that down for them. And once you calm that down for them, they can live a really stress-free life for the most part.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about the more common thing for almost any new monitor keeper and doing something to freak the monitor out, right? And monitors are smart enough to remember things. Like, especially if you keep up that kind of like bullshit. Like, you can't make the same mistake with the monitor over and over again, because that's when they're smart enough to trust something. You know what I mean? That's why I love a monitor, right? But I do know you could repair trust that's broken, just like us humans, right? So what's the best way? Like, you know, let's kind of put a scenario where if I were to pick up a monitor from you, Uncle Mike, and something happened, and next you know, it's tail whipping me, and it's just like huffing and puffing, and I'm like, what's going on with this thing? Like, what would be the advice for something like that? Like, what would be the first step?
For an animal like that that's scared, and I'll say aggressive, but they're not being aggressive like they want to get you. They want to hold you off. They want to keep you at bay.
Defensive.
So number one, as you said, we all know monitor lizards are highly intelligent. I mean, they're on the level of like, a parrot even, they're very intelligent. So what I've noticed with even wild animals like, a nose when I'm on vacation or whatever, lizards, they watch your eyes. So if when you're reaching in there to deal with your animal, he's tail whipping you and stuff, just do this. Look this way. And with your peripheral vision, don't point your head at the animal. Don't look at him. Right. But you could just watch him with your peripheral vision and then introduce your hand. And I bet you get a different reaction because they know when you're looking at them, that's when they're afraid. So if you that peripheral vision, looking at your animals, along with don't encourage that behavior. So if he's tail whipping you and everything, like I said, just back out of there, remove yourself from that situation. But you also can't condition the animal to know that if he arcs his back and cracks his tail, you're going to back out. So you give him the first one like that. And after that, start with the peripheral views. And you just got to keep working at it. You got to win their trust. It's people say to me all the time, oh, I seen this guy's animal, he's tame. And it's like, man, it takes time, and they're like, oh, okay, so a couple months. I'm like, some might be a couple weeks, some might be a couple months, some it might take years because, it just depends on how you're interacting with them. You got to read your animals too,
I can tell you what, I've definitely, only because come from experience, I know that things could go south at any point, right? Like, I think even you told me a story when you had, I think one of your sulfurs were on your son's shoulders and you could just tell the way it was like smelling his ear. You're like, it was like something where you guys had to react to it very quick. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I don't know where I was going with that. What were we just talking about right now? God damn it.
We're talking about like habituating your animals to trust you and socialization.
Oh my God. I was going
reading the animal.
Reading with the, now my mind's going right to the south area where I can't even think about where I was. Hold on. It's going to come back to me. But I know we were talking about just in general with trust. I do know though. I found out. Figured out what it was. Thank God. Shit. I always catch it, Mike. I always catch it. I
know you do.
Yeah. So, okay. Where do you draw the line as far as socialization goes? Meaning, like for me, for instance, if this thing wants to come and eat off my leg, or if this thing wants to come to my arm, I'm so cool with that, right? But there's a lot of people out there who like want to shower with it and like just fucking go the extra route. And God bless them, like they have that, right? But like, where do you feel like is kind of the line with you as far as how much socialization you want to do with this monitor, like in your like opinion?
Now, okay. So personally, I don't care what people do as long as they're doing the right thing and not, in 50-degree weather, have their water monitor on their throat at a show. That's stupid. That's bad for the animal. But if you want to put a little hat on him and you want to boop his nose and put a leash with the bat wings, do your thing. But you're not going to never see me doing that stuff. And again, it's just not me. I don't need to, sit down at the dinner table with my lizard and enjoy a banana with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much leave my animals alone. I have them to where if I need to move them or interact with them, they'll come right to me. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I kind of draw the line at the hats and the leashes, and I just do what I have to do with them. I'm not looking for a best friend
because you got too many of those.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the demographic or like the area of your down basement because everything is in your basement, correct? As far as where you keep your monitors.
Yes.
And I'm just curious, how do you have it divided? Do you have certain species on one side? Do you have cooler stuff on the other? How do you kind of have the layout in your room? And I'm listening. Go ahead and talk. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Okay. So the layout in my room is basically as I built my enclosures, I just kind of put them where I wanted them. And then the next one, put it where I wanted it. Before you know it, I had a room full of enclosures. Then I started putting up paneling and stuff to kind of finish the room off. And again, you know, my room that I'm in right here, right now, I'm packed. And so what I had done was I annexed out another room over here. And in there, I probably got, well, that when I'm done with that room, it'll be half of my whole basement. And it's huge. It's a big basement. So, yeah, there's nothing in order. It's just kind of like as I built them, that's where they went. Of course, the coming eye with the pass-through enclosure, those are obviously next to each other. But like I say, it wasn't a planned thing. You just start. Yeah, it's almost like a puzzle. You start with a piece here and a piece there. And then by the time you get your cages together, you're like, wow, it would really look nice if I trimmed it out with paneling. So that's where I'm at.
Now, I mean, as far as heating and all that goes, you heat everything the same from what I understand.
Yeah, my room, I keep my room ambient temperature down here. In the wintertime, it's really crazy because in the wintertime, I run a space heater summer and winter, but in the wintertime, it gets from 82 to 84 degrees in here with the lights on. Where in the summer, it's generally at 84 degrees ambient all the time because of the heat, you know, summertime heat, you know.
Now, I mean, summertime, I mean, I got to ask you, I was just in the East Coast and I heard about something with the heat dying down a lot later during the year than normally. Like, for instance, winters are taking a lot longer than they normally come. Are you dealing with that yourself, or is it on schedule with you?
No, it sure seems like it. It sure seems like, you know, since I was a kid, but, you know, I was a kid, so I enjoyed snowballs and all that shit, sketching. But, yeah, it's like, man, the winters here they seem to go on forever. Like, right when you think, yeah, and it really gets me because I see people in the Northeast, and you know they're bringing their animals outside, and I look outside here, it's still freaking snowing out. So yeah, Wisconsin is definitely a cold zone for sure.
Now, what's going on with overall the year with you breeding? Do you have seasonal stuff, or are you breeding 24/7?
I run them hot, and they just breed all year long. And which is pretty much, that's why you know, the animals that I'm working with now, they're all bigger animals. So, you know, in the wild, they would go through a natural seasonal cycle. And here they don't get that. Here they get, you know, the time of plenty all the time. So, you know, every 3 months, I'm getting clutches from coming eye, sulfurs, Mertens, and hopefully Similis and Togienus. So what I tend to do is I won't, like, I just got rid of she was probably a 6-year-old female coming eye, and she has given me lots and lots of eggs and hatchlings. And most people wouldn't have done it, but I retired her. I put her up. I gave her to cold-blooded parties, Lucas Arnold and his wife, Caitlin. They're right here by me. But they got a kind of like an exhibit walk-in place, and they do shows. So she's a real tame girl, real good girl. So I gave it to them so it can live its life out. And I got another female coming up. So
you got to love it when that's the case. You know, you have something that did so great for you, and you just want it to kind of live the rest of the best years of its life. And what a way to do it at a place like that, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, kind of going into next year here, what are you most excited about hatching out, you should say? You know, I mean, you do have more than a couple passion projects, but if one project can go your way next year, what project do you want that to be?
Oh man, if one project can go my way, I would have to say Similis. I mean, it's my favorite species of monitor. I had them a long time ago when they were barely even known. I mean, they were grouped into the Timorensis complex, and they're not at all like Timors. So that's my favorite varanic species. So I'd be really stoked if I was able to get some eggs and hatchlings out of them.
Now, I mean, as far as establishing any baby monitor, is that also the same regiment with every single one you've worked with, or are some different? How is establishing them straight out of the egg go?
Okay, well, so with your Audatrias, which I bred a lot of Kimberly Rocks, Ackies, and Gilleneye and Kingorum, they're not aquatic. So you got to approach them a little differently. For me, it's still these are captive born animals. They don't know nothing in the wild. So they have a lower, they have an instinctual fear because they're small animals. They know their prey. So basically, if you keep them at chest level or higher in a very simple setup, and from day one, when they hit that raise up enclosure, I go in there with chopped up pinky parts or silver side fish, even for the Audatrias that are, scrubland desert animals. Right. I found through tweezer feeding my Kimberly Rocks, I was like, I hit a bunch of fish cut up. I'm like, I'll try a fish. I'm like, he ain't even going to know what a fish is. I passed them the fish in there. These things went crazy. So, I couldn't even believe it. So, I give them all tweezer. I tweezer feed them from the get-go. They get a thermal gradient. Instead of being linear, it's vertical. So they get a hot spot here on a piece of tree bark, and I put a real spittly plant over it so they can hide underneath it. Right. And then they can thermal regulate by, either down here would be cooler and up here would be warmer, of course. And tweezer feed them. And before you know it, they'll come right out on your hand. And it's just awesome. So you just got to break that insecurities of theirs and keep them up, up at chest level and tweezer feed them from the get-go. And it really helps.
Is there any species of monitors you work with that are like on a rat diet or that are just eating rodents?
I rarely use rodents. I just got, so my wife's in the pet industry too. She's in the fish business, and she has a guy who rents space from her. He's a reptile guy. So he got a bunch of rodents, and I need rodents for my son's ball pythons. He's got a ball python collection too. So my sulfurs are getting huge. I got 2 sulfurs that are like over 6 feet, and they've got to be 20 pounds. They're just huge animals. So I'm in the process of getting larger quails, but in the meantime, I've been feeding them rats. And I'm real cautious feeding them a lot of rats and rodents because the caloric intake on that is very high, and they don't burn it off fast. Birds, there's nothing to a bird. If you give them quails and quail eggs, there's nothing to that stuff. I feed those every day, and they never get fat.
Yeah, it's crazy because not to dog anyone who does a rodent diet for their monitors. From what I've seen, anyone who's breeding the shit that you are breeding or John's breeding or Waterloo. I think Waterloo, he doesn't do rats, but he does mice, right? But he doesn't do rats. I think he does mice first, and these are lace monitors. But I just feel like
he does a lot of birds too, Brian.
Yeah, I'm saying but the thing is, if anyone who's working with monitors really avoids rats, they don't really want to like have that as a prime source of any kind of diet of what they have going on. I feel like
it's a big food item. Takes a long time for the animals to break it down. Right. And they could become, obese quick on that kind of diet.
And then now we're talking about the longevity of life not being as long as it should be. And that's all I really care about, man, because at the end of the day, here's the thing, like, some people might call this bullshit, but at the end of the day, I before I look for the clutch, I look for the mom to bounce back. Like I hope the mom gives me the clutch, but I want her to survive, and I want her to pass the eggs and all that stuff. I feel like that's the most important part more than anything. And this is with snakes. I can only imagine how I'm going to be with monitors. Like I'm not gonna lie, Uncle Mike, I'm terrified going into next year because my laces are ready. You know what I mean? And they're separated. And this is like a big moment, bro. I don't know. I mean, it's just fuck. It's just.
Well, you're in good hands, man. You got me, you got John, you got Brian. I mean, you're in good hands as far as those things go. But I
got the best. I got the best in the game mentoring me, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, I mean, kind of going back to the diet of things. One thing I've was very fun about one of your practices is, you offer many different varieties of seafood items like shellfish and stuff like that. But are those certain species that are getting some of that seafood, or is that going all the way across the board as far as the different dieting programs that you have for your monitors?
Yeah, well, as far as seafood, I give my animals silver sides. That's it. I don't do no snails. I used to do all of that.
Okay.
And I just, I give the Chinese restaurant or the Chinese grocery store a lot of money. And when I found quail is the best. I mean, day-old quail, balloon eggs with the chick in it, and silver sides. And occasionally I'll get them, some crazy stuff like whatever, frozen frog legs or something like that. Very rarely though. It's mostly quail and quail eggs. And let me say one more thing to you, Mike. So you were talking about your concerns with your female that, you don't want her to go egg bound or have a reproductive failure event.
Right.
Brian Waterloo, John Dragna, myself, some of the old timers, man, we've been through there, and I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but because of all of our mistakes when there was no internet and stuff, is why, deep substrate, heated soils, leaf litter, we've discovered all this. I can remember back in the day where everybody was using cypress mulch and thinking that was the be all end all. And now we know cypress mulch sucks, as its own. If you want to mix it in with a little dirt or something, that's fine. But for the most part, you're better off. Like, we live in the United States, other than the desert, anywhere you go in a forest preserve or in the woods where the leaves shed every year, go find a place like that where there's no pollution and, nobody sprays, and you dig your stuff right out of the woods. It's perfect. A forest floor. That's perfect.
Magic Doit.
I
mean, that's something that you've been very proud about. I feel like the substrate thing that you use, you feel like that is the most ideal shit for what you have going on.
Well, you know what? Because of all, like I was saying, all the years of cypress mulch mixed with topsoil, mixed with sand, mixed with cocoa shit, all of that stuff, and to get it in one place for free, I was pretty excited of finding this pile. So, when I seen this pile of dirt, and it's basically waste on the farm.
Right.
So when I seen the pile, I picked it up and I smelled it, and it just smelled like outside after a rain, like in the wood,
Perfect.
And I just bring home, I don't know, tons of it. And, what do
you load it in? What are you loading the dirt in?
I put the dirt in, they're called flat bottom box bags. They're giant plastic bags, but they're for the fish business. So people put like koi and shit like that. They're really big fish.
Okay.
So I just load up, 20, 30 of those. I put the kids to work and I bring it home and they carry it down and just fill it all in there. But I pretty much got everything I need now, but I got to keep going back for more to top it off,
But I mean, do you prepare for the winter and shit like that and you stock up as much as you can that gets you through the winter at least, or how does that work?
Yeah. Well, usually I'm pretty good, but this winter I did. I went there for, what did I go there for? I went there for an enclosure that I switched from a water bottom to where now I have substrate in it, and I needed the dirt. So I was like, yeah, you know what? It's winter. I went to this pet store in my town here.
Right.
And man, 2 bags like this big, it wouldn't even have done the whole bottom.
God, dude, that
was $120.
Bro, I used to get the Eco Earth. Oh my God. So I used to just get that just for the nest boxes, right?
Right.
And I'm spending $80 on just one nest box. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like,
yeah.
So luckily I go to this hydroponic store that has like, it's basically to grow pot, but they have all this broken down organic fucking biodegradable fucking beautiful soil that's all broken down. So I get a 50-pound bag for $20. and it's all and it's already broken down. And I go, oh my God, this is perfect. So I mean, shit, it was like you just gotta be resourceful. You gotta be resourceful. Like if you can't get it in like your backyard or something, or the I don't have much of a forest area where I'm at, but still, like you got to just do your part and go look for it. Especially because if you're going to keep as much as monitors as what you keep, that shit it could get expensive if you're not smart about what you're doing. Like you got to become, you know what I mean? How to become, smart up there as far as where to spend certain money, because, things do get tight. I'm sure you've had these animals where things in life got tight, right, Uncle Mike? Like where it was like, luckily you knew what to do in that situation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I can remember back in the day, me and John, we'd call each other up and we'd be like, oh, hey, I got this idea for dirt. And, him, either he'd do it or I'd do it. We'd mix together all this stuff and think we had a really good dirt, only to find out that females weren't nesting properly in it. So it's stuff that we bought and we thought it would be good. And we realized that it was shit, and we paid for it. So that sucked. Right. But once you get a good mix, and then it depends on the species too. But with the giant enclosures that I have down here, there's no way I'm buying any of that. I got lucky and blessed to find that pile, and it's never ending. I got it year after year over there.
Now I do want to flex off one of your most sickest, in my opinion, do-it-yourself type projects when it comes to enclosures. That's right behind you, because I remember seeing the prototypes. I remember seeing the very first version of it just with the tub, and then you elevated it from there. And that's obviously for your grow up Mertens monitors. Is that correct? Is that what's behind you?
Yeah. I keep hatchling Mertens. That's a three bank enclosure. So right. One of them I keep baby Mertens, one of them I keep baby coming eye, and then baby sulfurs on the end.
And they all have that much water if they need it.
Oh yeah, they're 70-gallon tubs, and they're probably 6 or 8 inches. But along with that, you don't want your baby monitors just aimlessly swimming. I mean, you're going to burn them out and they're going to drown. So right. there's a plant that drapes in the water that they could climb up and get on the land. Right. And then I have, multiple elevations for different temperature gradients. And yeah, it's very simple though.
I've noticed that majority, if not all the species that you work with now are watered or like monitors that work with monitors that are like more like in the water, correct? Like,
yeah,
you like that's like your cup of tea, which I got to say, nothing makes me happier than knowing that, when I mist or spray an animal and I just see it drinking, I just see it loving the water. Like the tree monitors. I'm obsessed with the tree monitors, right? But like, what is it about the 3 species that you have behind you? Which one is constantly in the water or in the water more than the other ones?
Well, there's no doubt. I personally believe, and I bet my left nut, that Mertens are the most aquatic of the monitors. I have them breeding in the water. I have them, hunting and courting in the water. Everything they do on the land, they'll do in the water. Where like your water monitors, they'll hunt in the water, they'll breed in the water. But for the most part, they don't require a deep body of water to hunt in and explore. They like to wallow. So basically, they like to have their feet on the floor, their belly on the floor with their head at the water level. Where Mertens, they like to submerge. They'll come up like a dolphin for food when I feed them.
Right.
They're crazy sick in the water.
I mean, you got to admit though, if you really I've studied your Mertens, other Mertens. I've kind of geeked out over them. They're different. They are a different species of monitor, man. Like they're like their own little like the way their face is shaped. I feel like they're meant to do well underwater. Like I just feel like they're meant for water for sure.
Yeah. Well,
what's going on real quick, Mike? What's going on right here? Oh, there's a trio of what's going on?
Yeah, that's a trio, and what they're doing is they're courting.
So 2 males and 1 female.
That's 2 males and two females and a male.
Oh wow.
Generally, what happens is the 2 females, they'll start a dominance display. And
Okay.
by them doing that, the male, he gets a hard on, and there you go.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Keep it underwater like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Do they eat that goldfish or the fish floating around over there ever?
Man, I hope not, Mike. I love my fish. I love my fish. But what they'll do is, so the fish they're aware of the monitors, and they don't want to die, so they're pretty good at escaping from the monitors. However, I have a shelf in there that's probably 4 inches below the surface, so they can wallow. They can wallow there. What the hell is going on?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Hold on, let me take this off. There we go. So they wallow, which basically means they're kind of like in shallow water, and they'll take their tail, like here's their head,
right?
And they'll take their tail and they make like a corral, and all the zebra daniels, all the surface dwelling fish, they get stuck in this tail bend here, and then they just go boop, 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 and they pick off, but they're picking off zebra daniels. Those are like, 2 cents for me.
That's so cool. I mean,
yeah.
This is what made me kind of fall in love with the monitor species in general. Is just you don't get this kind of type activity out of a snake. You know what I mean? And then also just kind of how, like we were talking, how things can go south. I mean, mind you could get bit by a snake, but there's just something about an adult monitor bite that could be very unforgiving. You know what I mean? So it's just like the, it's just the respect that you want to just put something on, But what I also love is the variants. Like here we talking about you working with dwarf species, which are just mainly desert species of monitors, but then there's ones that climb and stay arboreal. Then there's ones that just stay in the water. Like it's all around awesomeness, to be honest, if you ask me.
It is. The creation is unbelievable.
Now, I mean, listen, guys, we're an hour deep. I got to say, shout out to 57 people. Almost, we were just at 60 just a little bit. So I think we're about 60 people in the live. If you're tapping in late, get the likes up for Uncle Mike right now. So why don't we get the likes up for Big Uncle Mike? Because we got a next topic here that I want to get into of legendary shit that's already been spoken so far. Now I got to ask you, Uncle Mike, with anyone coming from the snake game like myself into the monitor game, like what are some of, like, and we can kind of stay around the big monitor species, right? But I mean, other than having space, like what are some importance you feel like are to consider before even wanting to breed monitors? Like if you want to come to the snake game, doing really well in the snake game, and you want to breed monitors, let's talk about those type of people.
Okay, well, what you got to do is, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. I come from breeding colubrids and rainbow boas to get into monitors. And man, I'll tell you, because I'm just passionate about the monitors, I do it. But snakes are nice because if you want a weekend with your wife, you make sure your water bowls, everybody's fed and clean. You can go away for a couple days.
For real.
Monitors, on the other hand, especially like water shitters, they shit in their water, and now that water is foul. They need clean water. Mine, I do my waters every day. It's a pain in the ass, but I got everything on drains. Everything's pretty much automatic except for the filling, which I do with a hose, and I enjoy that. So, monitors compared to snakes, monitors are an everyday deal. Right. If you run them like I do,
And like, I want to bridge that back to, I mean, I didn't get to talk, shout out to John again, Sim Container, which, by the way, this episode is brought to you by the one and only Sim Container, man. Please.
Awesome.
Be ready to, John has an awesome new, version of the Sim Container that he's going to be launching sometime next year. It's going to be really, really cool. I don't want to say too many details on it, but be ready for that. Go follow them on Instagram, go to their website, shout out to John and Alex over at Sim Container. But back where I wanted to talk to you right now is, John runs things differently, bro. I'm not going to lie. I went down to his basement and I was like, holy shit, like this. It was so awesome to see how he could fit so much on one part of the basement. And he has plans, right? He wants to expand and do things. But then I asked him what his light cycle was. And he doesn't turn the lights off ever. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I never shut the lights off. He's like, mind you, they have area to hide. If they wanted to go dark, they could go dark. Okay. But he never shuts the lights off. And my fucking jaw hit the fucking floor. Now I'm not telling you I'm doing that. I can tell my fucking bill's already through the roof. I am not doing that. Okay. But what's going on, bro? Like, do you run lights 24/7? Or you?
No. I go 12 on, 12 off, and that's all the time.
Okay.
Now I do run heaters down here that keep my ambient temperatures up. So if you were in a basement,
what's the ambient? What's the ambient right now?
That ambient. Okay, so the lights are going off. They just went off, so it's 84 in here right now.
Okay.
In another 2 hours, it'll be 80. By the time I wake up in the morning, it could be as cool as 78. Okay. So 12 on, 12 off. That temperature cycle is kind of like what they're all used to here. But yeah, that's back in the day, that's what it was. 24/7 lighting, so they have options to get out of the heat or get into the heat. And then of course, if you have good dark hides, it doesn't really matter until, like for me, with the 12 hours on and the 12 hours off, and I house my, 90% of my animals are housed in either groups or pairs. So, which is beautiful. My females, always lay at night. So what happens is when the lights go off and I have a gravid female, my male, he'll go roost and he'll go to sleep. And the female goes down and she starts nesting, and the male is asleep. I don't really have to worry about him raiding her nest. So that's one thing that's beneficial about 12 on, 12 off when you're keeping groups together.
Yeah, and like I said, I was so just really thrown back on how well fucking maintained and beautiful all of John's monitors were. By the way, make sure you guys go subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Trap Vlogs, because my next vlog is on John's place. I can't wait to drop that. It's going to be fucking awesome. But, there's so many things that people do that work for them, right? And that's is why, and think about how long John's been in the game. Like, John's been in the game for a fucking minute. So whatever John's doing is John's comfortability. Like, John's doing what he feels like, hey, this is why I am hatching laces, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I salute that. That's fucking awesome. I just
absolutely.
Yeah. I just know that stuff's better hotter than it is cooler with these monitors. Like, there's definitely a threshold you don't want to go under, because I think John is coming from a place of having monitors become sick and stuff like that. Like they develop I forget what he said, fungus, or like they some sort of bacteria in their mouth when they're kept too cool and they don't get that proper heating that they need.
Right.
Am I off here? I'm trying.
No, it's a respiratory issue, and then there's other bleeding gums and stuff. But right. I'm not sure if that's heat related. But yeah, you don't want. These are animals. These are from warm climates. Really, I mean, my Mertens monitor Enclosure. When you open that door, and someday when you come here and do the room here,
yeah, I need to.
Nephew,
can't wait.
You'll see. You'll open up my Mertens cage door. And boom, it hits you, man. It's like the hottest day in August in Miami. It's brutally hot and humid. And they love it. They're in there every day, all day. They never run, they bask.
But across the monitor board, I feel like they all love that shit.
They do.
And I've listen, I think you said this on the very first episode that we had together, where I was like, damn, my shit's nowhere near that hot. You know what I mean? And so now, like, mind you, like I could tell you right now. So here, this is kind of talk about where I'm at right now, Uncle Mike, because I've had my lace monitors that I've gotten from Sim Container. Alex produced my 2 lace monitors, different clutches, but he produced them, and they've been raised for the last 2 years together. They've been together, right? Got along just great, whatever. But now, just about a month ago, I divided the cage. So now they're separated, right? And I turned down the heat just a little bit, okay? And I would say half the heat is gone, but they know it's cooler for sure. I'm feeding them less. I'm doing that thing that people do when they do have seasons and they separate them and cool them down. But the only reason why I'm doing that, Uncle Mike, is because they've been living together. And I feel like there has to be a time and place where they have to understand, all right, wait, this isn't my sister. I need to smash this. Like, I need to So I can tell you right now, if this works out, what I'm doing, then I am going to go 24/7, 12 hours on, you know what I mean? But I am concerned about like shutting them down. Like, it's crazy to go from feeding something every other day to just feeding it once a week and seeing them kind of sad about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I get where, I get, and of course, I'm never going to diss on John because, I mean, he's an OG, and there's more than one way to do this. What I
100%.
do ain't right. What John does ain't right. It's right for him. This is right for me.
Right.
You're in California. What I do in this Wisconsin basement, it might be no good for you because you come from a much hotter, dry climate.
Right.
So you got to kind of adapt, figure out, read your animals like you're doing, and adapt from there with your cooling off period. And, yeah, I mean, they all come wherever they come from, New Guinea. So they might not have a winter period, but they'll have a rainy season. So, a lot of times people want to simulate all of that, but they always breed in the time of plenty. So that's basically what I do here is I keep them running top hot. They're running hot, and it's always a time of plenty in the basement here, and they just keep giving me eggs. But again, I do, I'm very cautious of my females. I don't want to burn them out. I love my animals. It's not about making money and shit for me. So I just do it because I love it. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. So you got to do whatever, what don't work here might work there. And it's good to know that you have a lot of people to ask.
So listen, I got something that's hotter than your sister's breath on a Sunday morning. A little how you doing. Look at this right
you
here.
Think so?
We got John from Sim Container dropping $50 super chat right there. Look at that. That's hot right there. A little how you doing. Hey, listen, Mike, here's the thing, man. It's as much as I love how small the reptile community and family is. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, the respected circle is not that big. It's like we're all a unit. You know what I mean? Like, we all know each other, right? But visiting John and his family was one of the most wholesome experiences. And I know once I go to your place, it's going to be the exact same thing because how we are at shows and whatnot. But man, just to see the kind of father John is to his fucking kids and how much he's tapped in with his family and his awesome wife, who was very hospitable to me and Andrew. And Andrew took a nap, of course, in the living room while we did a podcast. But man, John is one of the reasons why I would be perfectly fine. And of course, you, Uncle Mike, I'd be perfectly fine not doing as much snakes and just being more in the monitor game, man. I want to come into the monitor game because of people like you and fucking John. I gotta tell you right now, like this is, and nothing with my snake friends. I love you guys to death, but man, it's just something about the monitor world that I'm just so drawn to. And day by day, man, I thank you so much. Appreciate you, John. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, me and John, we go way back, and he's a great guy. One thing you'll notice, the same thing you see at John's house that you'll see at my house is all the fingerprints on the windowsills.
Right.
You get it? Who's at the door?
Nobody's here. Leave. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about your very first memorable John and Uncle Mike story. Do you remember that? Like, do you have something that will always stand out to you when it comes to you remembering John? Yeah, I do. So back in the early days, I'm not a big guy. I'm not tall. I'm not tall. I'm a little thick, but I'm not tall. So we were becoming friends on kinksnake.com, the forums. And there was another Italian guy, Eric Pesci, the fish. So I was selling some T-shirts for Bob Ashley at the time. And, they both wanted a shirt. And I'm like, all right, send me your shirt size. Well, I'm like 5 foot nothing, but I wear a 2X because I just don't like clingy shit, And these guys, actually, I believe John wanted a medium. And that kid, Eric, the fish, he wanted a small. I'm like, well, I'll send you one, but I'll send you one for your lady, but give me your size too. He goes, well, that is my size. I was like, oh, shit. I couldn't believe it, man. So I knew I was in good company with a bunch of little guys. Bro, I got to tell you, there's times where listen. Bro, Bro, I would love to give everybody a shirt. Like, here's the thing. Like, I can tell you right now, I don't make money off these fucking shirts. So every time I buy these shirts, it's a full-on just, I got to give them. And of course, people do give me money, but for the most part, I try to give them to the motherfuckers I love. Uncle Mike got 100%. But
thank you very much.
But then it will come down to like, oh shit, like I have a large. And I know what's his name has to be a large. And then I'll be like, hey, dude, I want to send you a shirt. Fuck, you're going to send me a shirt? Yep, I got your shirt. You're a large, right? No, actually, I'm a medium. Or no, actually, I'm like, how the fuck are you that small?
Well,
like,
then when you pick up the shirt, you look at it, you're like, holy shit. I can't even believe it. Like I could use it as a sock.
Dude, even like,
but that's how it was for me and John anyways. And yeah, I love John.
And for girls, go ahead.
And while we're at it, I know Sims, John, he's got a big thing coming up with his Sims container. Yeah. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I've been in this shit a long time. And I'm not, you know, he's like my cousin. I love him. And I'm not, you know, this is my true feeling. The Sim egg box container is probably one of the best reptile innovations in many, many years. I love them. They're beautiful. They keep getting better and better. So get you some Sims.
Listen, at the end of the day, Sims is as respected as it is because what you could hatch out of a Sim. Like, how many things on record has come out of a Sim container? We're talking everything. We're talking a crocodile monitor. We're talking green tree pythons. We're talking the hardest things it is to hatch in a day and age like today. It comes out of a fucking Sim container, okay? They are the most legendary things you could have inside your incubator. But because of podcasts like this, because of mentorship like Uncle Mike, you could be that person out there who has an amazing, unique clutch. Something that's like, holy shit, what do I do? You put it in a Sim box. That's what you fucking do, okay? Less steps, less stress. If it's a Sim, it's a win. Let's go.
Absolutely. Hey, let me show you something. Let me show you something real quick here. You talk about Sims?
Dude, Komodo's out of Sim containers. Can you believe that?
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Here, how do you like this?
What is
Sim container.
Right, let's go.
Sim container.
Already on it. Oh, what's in there? Is that like a black dragon? That looks black. What is that?
It's a Mertens.
That's a Mertens? Wow.
It just hatched. And I was
look at that.
I had him there he goes over here. Yeah, so in the Sims, I love him. And now he's going into the cage. So I had him. He was pipped.
Uncle Mike.
He was pipped. He was fuck.
He was pipped.
So he was pipped earlier.
You just put him away right now?
I just put him in the raise-up cage.
How many's in there right now?
I believe I got 5 in there. This clutch has been incubating for 240 some days. I've had 2 first pipped out, and then about 2 weeks went by. I had another one pip out, and that's been about a week ago. And now this one pipped out, and there's got to be 5 or 6 more in there.
You just literally took. I mean, here's the thing. God bless John. You know what John wanted to do? And I'm so surprised John and I pulled off the podcast in his goddamn room somehow, but it was great. But John wanted to actually do it inside his enclosure. And I was like, what the fuck, John? Like, no, like these mics, like I had both these mics. I had over fucking $6,000 worth of equipment. I was like, no, I'm sorry. God bless you, John, but it's not. So
yeah, we could do that here. It'd be a little hot, but
no. But listen, Mike, you're taking the belt right now for most epic monitor episode to ever come on Trap Talk because of what you just did right now. You just took a goddamn Mertens out of the egg. Well, it was already out of the egg, but you took it from the Sim box after what we were just talking about and just added it right to its group, right to the
group.
It doesn't get more gangster than that, bro. I'm telling you right now, that is sick.
Thank you, man.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Uncle Mike. I got my plate's full right now as far as my monitor goals. I mean, like, man, I barely got my laces figured out as far as their caging, and I got my green tree monitors figured out. But of course, I want more. I'm not gonna lie, man. I fucking love the Mertens, man. But let's talk about how you would coach me on this. Like if MJ wanted to get into the Mertens game, and obviously I know the raise up game. I see what's behind you, but I want to talk about doing what's right for these when they're adults. How, like, what would be your standard for something like that? Let's talk about it.
Okay, well, you've seen my adult enclosure, my breeder enclosure.
Very
so
awesome.
Basically, if you ask me, that's bare minimum, but it's bare minimum for a male and 2 females. So with an 8 by 4 by 6 foot with 300 gallons of water, you can do a trio in there. So and Mertens are real slow growing. It takes them, up to 3 years to fully mature. I had my first female bred at 2 years old, and she died from, I think she was too young and she couldn't, get rid of the eggs. So the next ones I had, they were 4 years old when I got them, and everything's been smooth since. And now my F1s are in the raise up cage, and they are 3 years old and they're starting to breed now. So I should have F2 in the incubator by, within 2023. I guarantee that.
And this is what, like, I think why I want another monitor species so bad is, or just even like another pair of laces, just because I'm scared, like, of, because this, I mean, regardless of who my mentors are, regardless of the information that's out there, dude, this female could still die. Like, it could, like, things could still happen, right? And so it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because it's like, okay, that happens and you get another one, right? Or you get another one just in case that happens, but then let's say that never does happen, then now look at you, right? So I just feel like it's just like anything else, man. You could possibly take your licks in a heavy way, and if you're breeding, it's gonna happen at some point, either with the baby, with your your female. So I don't know, man. It took me a couple of good snake losses for me to swallow the pill and understand whatever dies, dies. I'm just not even close to ready to that. If one of my monitors were to die, I'm pretty sure MJ is going to go fucking ghost for a little bit, or I might just cry here, pull a bar check, and just cry my fucking worries out right here and get some views. I think motherfuckers would love to see MJ cry. How many motherfuckers would love to see MJ cry out there? Let's see. Let's. But I'm telling you right now, monitor crashing, bro, will be a day where I'm in tears. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's one of the most challenging things in the monitor game is you got to back yourself up, because, like you say, you never know. I mean, a light bulb could break.
Anything, life, fucking
anything.
Power outage, it escaped. Dude, let's talk about escapes. You better have your shit dialed in, because these motherfuckers will find a way, okay? And dude, I gotta tell you, man, I'm confidently saying this right now because I'm just now gonna be putting this project in someone else's hands. But for the very first 2 weeks, I got into a venomous species of lizard that kept breaking out, and I kept finding think about it. My wife, if Lily finds out about shit like this, bro, it's shut down city, because the dogs, it's mainly because the dogs can get injured, right? But dude, I had beaded lizards, right? So I still do, but I had my biggest beaded lizard that kept somehow wedging the fucking glass open, and it kept getting out. And it was so strong enough that little bullshit fucking little metal locks that are kind of cheap as fuck, nope, not strong enough. I
make my own.
Dude, I figured you ought as well make your own. But you do not want to sleep on the ninja, like the ninja type shit of those fucking monitors. They will get the fuck out. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I was saying, as far as backing your stuff up, some animals are more readily available. There might be a color mutation or a pattern that ain't so readily available, like my sulfurs, for example. These are big animals, and I've got quite a few of them, and I just got rid of one, but the ones that I do have, I have backups for my females and my males. The only problem is they're not like the ones that I have right now. They're exactly what I wanted. They're banded, they're beautiful, and so it's the standard that I have with these sulfurs that scares me. If I could replace them, but can I replace the quality of the ones that I have? That's what worries me with them.
But I want to talk about, like, listen, I mean, I'm not, me, Uncle Mike, like, I'm not for one to do content creator based off the animals I have. Like, I will definitely show off my animals, but I don't keep things just because it gets me a bunch of likes and views, right?
Yeah, I couldn't do that either.
Me neither. Fuck that. And so at the end of the day, I do keep such a great, healthy, established group of beta lizards that I might, dude, mind you, I got fucking the tree monitors. I have the laces coming up. I have 7 different species of pythons I'm trying to breed on top of 2 different species of emeralds I'm trying to breed. I'm not there where I feel like my mind should be about like cooling these betas down and putting, like, I don't want them if they're just not going to be valued. And I don't feel like I'm giving them what they could potentially need. So I feel like because of that, I have to do my part and put them in the hands with somebody who could do something with them or figure it out. You know what I mean? And this is kind of goes back to you just slowing down. And I'm still a noob. I mean, God damn it, I'm on my 5th year of keeping reptiles like on this level. And of course, I still want. You know what I mean? But like, I want to keep the same passion for everything I keep. I don't want to favor shit. Like, that's the one thing, Uncle Mike, I feel like you don't do, because how you keep everything and everything is breeding is because you respect everything and love everything on the same level. Like, just because you're so known and more, I don't know if you're the most successful with the Mertens, but I would say the biggest flex on your resume is the Mertens, correct?
Yeah, I've hatched out a lot of them. So yeah, I would say I don't know the world, but I probably hatched out more Mertens than anybody in the United States, with over 200 hatchlings to date.
I don't see anyone else ever selling or having Mertens. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is, I mean, not that no one else has, but it's not at the level where, like, when someone says Mertens, it should just rhyme with Stefani. You know what I mean? But it doesn't. But it should. I feel like that's just the way I think of things. You know what I mean? But, you know, bless you for having that establishment for that species. You believed in it at a time where obviously no one else cared about it. You know what I mean? And look where you've taken it. This is why I wish, like, and here we haven't even gotten to the point how you keep emerald tree boas now. Like, yeah, that's right. Like, sir, I fucking loved you for that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
Uncle Mike, hold on. I gotta own some stuff. I want to eat some crow right now, because first and foremost, Uncle Mike got into the emerald tree boa game where I'm like, hold on, maybe now I can maybe help Uncle Mike out, because now he's dabbling into something that I've gone through so much shit, right? But Uncle Mike ain't no idiot. You know, like, Uncle Mike had really good mentorship, that your boy Josh, who knows how to establish and has established many of emeralds. And I will say the emerald I got from Josh is right here, actually doing really, really well. Okay. But I couldn't help but to salute you and be so happy for you to be a monitor guy and really appreciating the emerald tree boa. Like that right there is fucking gangster as fuck, I gotta say.
And let me say, the original female pattern list that I found here from Josh, I say I found it here. When he vents shows in my area, he stays at my house. So when he's upstairs sleeping, I'm rifling through the boxes, and I found that patternless emerald, and I called you, nephew, right away. And I took some pictures and I sent them to you.
You offered it to me.
And what did you say? What did you say to me? You said, Unc, I want it. I'm like, okay, I got it. It's for you. Yeah. A few minutes go by and you said, yeah, you know, I think I'm going to pass. And now in that time that you kind of balked on it, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, nephew. Is that patternless?
No. This is a northern. This is from your boy Josh. This is from
Josh. This is the one, huh?
Yeah, this is it right here.
Oh yeah, real nice. Real nice. So let me finish this story.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
So I bring that pattern list down here and I get it set up in a cage, and I hear the footsteps coming down my stairs. And all of a sudden I turn around, it's Josh in my basement. He goes, hey, you better go up there and give your wife a kiss. I'm like, why? Because what I was going to do, what my plan was, nephew, is I know you were feeling a little leery of the import game, and I don't blame you. I mean, it's
okay, hold on. Well, listen. This is why I need to own. This is what I want to own up, because you got that snake after the same show or around the same show. I got that snake, okay? And this snake came in not directly from Josh, though, because when I saw this snake at the show at Tinley, I saw this snake and I was like, I need this snake. And I was like, this thing looks really, really good. He told me what it was eating, which he said, and this is why I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it, because he said he just has to leave it dead there and he eats it. And that's kind of like I can't say no emerald eats like that, but it's very uncommon, right? So right then and there, I was like, oh, I don't know, but I was like, fuck it, I don't care, bring it, right? But mind you, and this is nothing against Andrew Acevedo, but it went to Andrew first, and Andrew, who knows what happened at Andrew's? I don't know, but it went from Andrew for about 2 to 3 days, then came to me, and it came to me with a mouthful of foam, and it was in it, but like it was out of Josh's hands at so many different times where you can't. I just felt some type of way, and I was already taking it to the vet, and I didn't want to have to deal with another vet bill. That's what it was.
I get you 100%, and I wouldn't have got this from Josh had I thought, I would have had to do some vet visits and stuff like that.
Right.
So at any rate, what I was going to do, nephew, is I was going to keep him here, and I was going to take pictures of him eating and pooping and shedding and, and get you real comfortable with it, and then charge you a little more. I was going to duke you a little harder.
God bless you. You should charge me a lot.
So check this out. So he comes down and he says, go kiss your wife, whatever, blah, blah. So she bought the male. So now I got a pair. So I've said, fuck it, I'm going to keep them. And check this out. So that female patternless, thank God that male he's a real nice looking animal. They're a great pair, but right. One's patternless and one's not. So I thought I'd never find another patternless male to go with this female. And sure as shit, somebody posted one on Facebook, and man, dude, this was such a hard deal. So we came to an agreement that we would do a trade, and he goes, let me think about it. I'm going to Peru, and I'll get back with you when I get back from Peru. I'm like, fuck, Peru? I might be dead by the time this guy gets back from Peru.
Is this Blake Wilson? Has to be Blake.
No, it's Andrew Biddle. They were together.
Andrew Biddle, the other Andrew. Okay.
Yeah, so they were together, and so when he got back, we made the trade. And dude, when I got this new pair, is it all right if I bring you over there?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're good.
I want you to see this thing.
Yeah, please do. You're gonna get the big screen. Take it over. You're good.
Okay, let me find my flashlight.
Super chats for Uncle Mike going right now. Super chat time.
Super chat. I got to show you guys something. So I found that pair I said from Andrew Biddle, and man, I had no idea. When I pick up the box from FedEx, how do I turn this fucker around? I don't know. So when I found this pair,
you should see there should be a flip thing. You should see an icon to flip it. Go to settings.
Settings, man.
You see the little gear? There's a gear.
Did that work?
Hold on, let's see.
No, I somehow fucked up.
You're good.
Well, I'll just turn it around because
you're good.
So, Mike, I picked up this box, and I'm expecting 2 emerald tree boas, right? This box, man, it was so heavy. I'm like, holy shit, it must be a big heating pack in there or something. So I open up the box and I pick up the one bag that the female is in, and this thing is so heavy. But here, I'm going to turn this around. Tell me if you can see him. Can you see him?
Oh yeah, we see him, bro. That's perfect.
That's perfect right there. So that's partially patternless, the one on the left.
Yeah,
and look at the size of the head on that female.
Man, that's gorgeous, bro.
Yeah. But man, when I seen the size of that thing's head, I was like, holy shit, man, I never want to get nailed by that thing. So
you don't.
I'm very cautious.
I was just taking stuck shit off my female today, and I got this Stephen Cush, right, in Desiree.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my Miss Willie lines. She's gigantic, and
yeah, that thing is beautiful.
I asked them like, how are their temperaments, and they go, well, you know, they're okay, but we don't like something not to trust, right? But I had to take shed off one today that was right by the neck, and that's the scariest place to take shed off a snake is by the neck because they can feel the type of way, and I got away with it, thank God. But
yeah,
like,
you know what?
If you don't, I'll take one of those nights, bro.
Nope, I'll take a monitor bite over one of them emerald tree boa bites any day.
All right, let's okay. Now I'm going to test you a little bit here, Uncle Mike. What are you feeding those big emeralds? What are they eating? And
those two new ones. The first day I got them, upon Andrew's instructions, he said they were eating medium rats. So I put 4 crawler rats in there each, and I made sure they each got 4. So that was their first meal. A couple days after that, I figured, what the fuck? I got all these rats. So I warmed up some small rats, which, you know, they're probably maybe 4 or 5 inch body, like a small, you know. I warmed them up into warm water. I did a live while I fed them, and they both ate. So I don't have no trouble with those. These guys here, they'll eat anything, and they're eating like crawler rats, these 2 smaller ones. The originals.
How often?
Oh, man, you know, I was feeding them like once a week. And my male normal, I noticed, you know, now, of course, when you get into something, you start researching.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I'm researching, and I'm looking at the rear end of him, and it's just getting big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, you know, he's constipated.
Right.
I went and I checked out Gary Shavino's constipation video.
Rain chamber.
I put him in a little soap tub. I moved his perch back and forth so he had to climb a little bit.
Right.
And man, oh man, I'm glad I wasn't filming that because he exploded.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: you got to I even have traditional type things where if there's a certain period and they haven't taken a shit yet, they go to the rain chamber, and it's just like clockwork. Once they feel that fucking water hit them, they just shit, bro. And it's crazy because that's how they shit in the rainforest. Like they get dumped on. They get dumped on every other day, bro, in the rainforest. It doesn't stop raining in the fucking rainforest, bro. So
the cage that they're in there now, the big cage, that was actually a monitor cage, and I have you know, my drain is on it, and I have a thick layer of substrate in there. And I spray the shit out of them because it just drains away. I mean, there's never soaking wet on the bottom because I leave my drain open and it just constantly drains. But yeah, I hit them pretty heavy. Those 2 haven't shit yet, the 2 new ones. But I've only had them like maybe 2 weeks. So
okay, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Uncle Mike. Like you're in a really unique position because you work with stuff that is not the most easiest stuff to keep, and monitors takes attention to detail. You got to understand what's good, what's not, what your monitor reacts good to, what they don't react good to. It takes a little bit of brain power, you would say, more than snake when it comes to snake keeping, right? But when you keep something like an emerald tree boa, it's the same shit. Like the fact that you notice the back of that backup, you notice that it needed to take a shit. I can tell you right now, those emerald tree boas are kind of like any boa. They have a very slow digestive system, right? Like they take quite a while to slow down as far as digestive, but that means they can eat quite a big of a meal. They're more on the bigger side than the smaller side. So I like the fact that you actually tested your emeralds to where you fed them rat pups, and then a week later you fed them another small rat and they held it down. I mean, that right there is passing any test, I feel like, right? But if you don't mind, you know, and this is off Ed Marino podcasts, a lot of legendary Emerald Tree podcasts, consider maybe doing bigger meals less frequently. So
absolutely, one thing I've learned is they'll go down almost every night and then, you know, position themselves over a game trail or whatever to eat. That don't mean they get food every time they're in the wild.
They're opportunists, bro. And like I literally have fed these fat bitches big meals, and the next day they're like down, ready to eat again. It's like, what? Like, no, you're tripping.
Right. And what I got from that being a monitor guy,
they're getting ready to breed. They're getting ready to breed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because if they're trying to but here's the thing. I've even had smaller females do that too. But normally when it's like, I need to eat, it's because they expect something to come.
Right. I get that. So what, oh geez, where was I going with that? And now I'm having a brain fart. I'll catch it.
My bad.
Shit.
Shout out to Heath and Hatchery, $10 for Uncle Mike. Let's go.
Hey, that's all right. So, fuck. But yeah, so what I gathered with that constipation deal that I had, they're telling me they're hungry. They're telling me they want to eat. That don't mean I got to listen to them, because I started thinking about it, just like what you had just said. Man, these things don't do nothing. They crawl around a little at night. They find a spot they want to hunt, and they're sedentary. They're sedentary all day long. They don't have that high metabolism like a monitor, to where they need to eat constantly, because they're always moving, digging, climbing. They're pretty sedentary. So yeah, they're getting cut off on the food a little bit.
Now, I mean,
bigger meals, less frequent.
Let's kind of talk about one thing we didn't kind of touch on, because we kind of skipped over it, is the fact that I'm going through this separation period with my monitors, right? And they're not eating as much. They're only eating once a week. Okay. There is a time and period when, once the heat goes back up, like let's say I double the basking, then that's when I slam them with food before I pair them. Is that correct? Or
what you should do is, see, because you're giving them little meals and they're not quite up to temperature, they're still able to digest them. If they went totally dormant, that food would rot in their belly, and that's not good. Right. So as you bring them up to temperature, you'll increase that food. And when you start hitting them females heavy, when they get to optimum temperatures, they're going to turn that into egg production. And then your male will go in there and like you said, even though it's his sister, he's going to slip it to her.
It's half sister. They're not the same mom. It's same dad. And listen, honestly, I mean, come on. If I was a reptile and if I had this sounds weird, I know, but if I didn't know your dad was my dad, there's a lot of different views on that. I don't know. I guess that's weird. I'm not trying to get all Game of Thrones on you guys. I'm just saying.
I got you. I know what you're saying.
He'll tap that shit.
He'll tap that shit. And you know what? Think about Australian monitors. How long we've been breeding them, and how little, if ever, any come out of Australia. Inbreeding in monitor lizards, I don't believe you'll start seeing a problem until way, way, way down the line. I mean, look at Kimberly Rocks and Ackies. There's not a constant supply of new blood, yet you rarely see, kink tails and kink necks and whatnot. So yeah, I think
is Uncle Mike, is this why Brian hates the Super Bells?
No, I don't think he hates the Super Bell.
Motherfucker, he hates that shit. He says there's no such thing. He
hates the name.
He hates the name. He hates the name, bro.
If a bell is a bell, and another bell is another bell. Two bells together is a bell. But somebody out there put the super on it because, hey, you got to sell these things. So
but, I don't know, but okay, but I mean, I do want to put a little respect on the quality. I mean, I guess it's just the line breeding back and back and back is what makes that nice, crisp, no sprinkled or freckled black fucking dark on these. Because, dude, I'm not gonna lie, the bells that John keep his adults have no black speckling on their whites, and
right.
That's fucking nuts to me. I gotta say there has to be a different form of what I have, or if not a super version of it. It's just also we're going to a morph name here. We're going to a whole nother realm, which monitor isn't about the whole morph game, right? I mean, even though there's albino and stuff like that,
yeah,
it's dangerous grounds. I feel like for some,
it is dangerous ground. And okay, just to finish up the Super Bell.
Right.
That's the premise behind it. That's why Brian doesn't like it. Or he doesn't like the name. I mean, a bell to a bell is a bell. It's not a super bell. It's not. And I get the whole, it's very clean compared. I get that. So with that being said, now Oh, bro. I mean, I'm not cracking on anybody. I'm not a python guy.
It's all love. It's all love.
Yeah, I'm not a ball python guy. I'm not a genetic guy, and I don't care. Okay, so my whole MO, ever since I was a little kid, albinos never did nothing for me. Now, don't get me wrong. If I hatch out an albino Mertens, I'm not going to freeze it. I'm going to take it to the bank for sure. But that's not my point. My point goes like this. So all of these animals that are, cotton candy, spot nose, striped back, highway star, all this stuff, that's beautiful. Right. But in the monitor world, I don't care about that either. If you have an albino, and I'm going to stay away from everybody, so I'm going to go this route with it. Right. If you have an albino Mertens and you breed it to another Mertens, you get hatched. That's all fine and well. But to breed albino Salvatore water monitors into a Celebensis because it's a smaller species, that's a mutt and a hybrid. In my opinion, I don't like hybrids, and that's just the bottom line. The color morphs, I don't have so much of a problem, but trying to Frankenstein an animal, and you know what? You would understand when they become unavailable, when pure coming eye become unavailable, and you got a bunch of mutts and no pure animals. So I'll always be breeding pure species to species. So, but you understand what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. And what I'm trying to say is, thank God we have somebody, the best in the game, working with the bells right now. I feel like somebody like John is nobody to ride a fucking like a coattail that's not supposed to be existing. Like John just said right now in the comments, he just said some babies in a bell to bell clean clutch, no matter how clean they look, some come out speckled. And so listen, I mean, I feel like John's one of the most honest people I've ever met in this industry. You know what I mean? So it would be a concern, man. I hate to say this, but like, I don't know. I mean, if this was like a project in Nerd's hands or prehistoric pets or something like something where like, oh God, like this person could really take this shit for a ride. You know what I mean? I feel like John's not trying to take nobody for a ride. I mean, John's selling what John has, and John has the best bell phase lace monitors in the game. I'm telling you right now, nobody's touching this guy's fucking bell phase work. And shout out to you, John. Thank you for all your love and support, man. But listen, Uncle Mike, 2 hours went by pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie, this was a great episode.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to crack on something you just said there.
Please.
John is an honest guy. I love John, but he lied to you about one thing. He said that fucking New York pizza is the best.
Oh shit, he did.
It's like a cracker with ketchup on it. Come on, have the Chicago pizza. It's the best.
Listen, Mike, can you take me to some real Chicago pizza next 10 leagues?
I'm going to take you to Armand's. To me, that's the best.
And you know what? Listen, I think, and guys, I'm spoiler alert, but I've already dedicated my time. First and foremost, how far are you from Waterloo? And like, how far are you from that? I'm an hour and 15 minutes from both of those guys. Okay.
And let me tell you something. If you come to Schaumburg, I don't vend Schaumburg, so I plan on having a Saturday night party during the Schaumburg show where I invite all the monitor people back to my house. So backyard barbecue, we'll burn it up, yuck it up. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, that could, I don't see. Here's the thing, Mike. I don't really know what the layout's going to be as far as when that's happening, but I do know that if you are within distance of me coming to your place while I'm at Waterloo's, an hour and 15 ain't shit. Usually my cap is like 3 hours per distance. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Uncle Mike, maybe I could fly in on a Wednesday, just come to your place. We make shit happen.
I got a room for you if you need somewhere to stay. So,
well, I got my old good old fucking ball and chain, Matthew Summers. Are you cool with Matthew Summers coming with me too?
I'm totally cool with man. I love that guy.
What a guy. Well, listen, wrap-up question, though, okay, before we get into the hot seat questions, because I have a round 2 version of hot seat questions for you, Uncle Mike, but I have a wrap-up question for you right now, and I want to know, out of sincerity, You've obviously have been through quite a bit of I guess, time in the reptile game. You've seen a lot of different shit happen. Let's just say that, right? But God forbid something were to happen. Let's just say tomorrow were to happen and you weren't able to keep reptiles. What is one thing you wish you could have done or would have done if you would have came in brand new at this time right now? Like if you could, I guess, start over. Like, well, what's one and let's say you were to start over and come back with no money issues or no financial burdens. Like, you could do whatever the fuck you want. What is one thing that you wish you could come back in and do differently if you could?
I gotta say, man, I don't want to sound corny, but man, I love the monitors. I would do the monitors all over again. And at this time in my life, it'd probably be the same species. But if you're trying to figure out what I would do, like if money was no object, well, I'd have my monitors. Plus, I'd really like toucans and hornbills. I love that shit.
Right. I mean, and at the end of the day, Uncle Mike, like, do you feel like, because I feel like shows are a huge thing for you. Like, Tinley, when I see you at Tinley, it's a great time, you know what I mean? But it's also something that takes a lot of effort. Like when I see you, you got to admit, your displays are always a hit. It's probably always one of the best, if not the best displays at every reptile show.
Thank you.
I feel like reptile shows like that need to be implemented anywhere they can. I know it's far-fetched, but how hard would it be for Uncle Mike to come to a Pomona or an Anaheim Reptile Super Show? Like, let's just say if you had backup sponsorships or something for it, like, how can we get Uncle Mike maybe at a Pomona or some shit?
Well, I could do that. Now, with that being said, the reason I say I could do that is I retired the barrels. So wow. I'm no longer lugging the barrels around with me, but I'm in the process right now. Me and my sons are building my new display, and that'll be in March. Tinley, you guys will all see my new display, which is more lightweight, easier to carry. It's all pre-sealed. Like everything that I bring, the barrels, that's all done by me. And a barrel, there's like 90 boards. So a little shift here and there, it could leak, and I got to fix it at the show. So the new display I'm making is all, it's lightweight and water's tight. There's no question that it'll leak.
And if it's
going to be sick.
If it was one thing, I was really heartbroken. Like one of the first things I asked you, and I was going to hope to God this was going to be like a straight to like answer when I was like, asked you about the barrel enclosure, the water enclosure setup, and you told me how big of a pain in the ass it was, and like all the fucking leaks and like constant patching, and I'm like, oh, there goes that fucking reality. But it just kind of shows what you're willing to put in time, effort wise, just to give the people the best idea. Like Uncle Mike, like I said, man, this life is short, right? I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be here tomorrow, but absolutely. I know one thing. I will always remember what Uncle Mike is known for, and that's his fucking, not only his family loyalty, but his goddamn setups. Like literally nobody has the type of shit Uncle Mike has when it comes to displaying monitors. And like what a legend, I gotta say you are. Okay, I
appreciate that. And just so you know, the emerald tree boas, they ain't getting the shortfall. I'm in the process of building them a really nice, kind of like a rondo type setup, but my own take on it with zoopoxy and shit. So they're gonna be setting up nice.
Uncle Mike, can I don't deserve this request, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Can I please be number one on that list of adoption? Like, can I be the godfather of those snakes just in case of anything? Can you please say, like, if something were like, I can't keep these no more, like put them to MJ. Can you instill that in your mind? Is that possible?
All four of them?
All of them. Every single one of them. Yes.
You got it. They're your first shot.
Forget about it. Let's go. Listen, Uncle Mike, thank you so much for this round 2. Many, many more rounds to come. I got plans, man. And who knows, maybe you could tap in with the Waterloo episode that I got planned for next year. I would love to have you. If it's one thing I wish I had for John's episode was another individual like yourself to kind of relate to the history we were talking about with a lot of these monitors. But my Uncle Mike, before we get into the hot seat questions, I got to say thank you for your support, because I always see you tuning in on the comments. I see you showing support on almost everything that I do. And I got to say thank you for that. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We got to all stick together in this shit.
Because there's a lot of room for everyone at the top, right?
Absolutely. That's what I say, man.
Let's go, buddy. All right. Hot seat questions for Uncle Mike. Get the likes up. If you haven't got the likes up yet, it's not too late, but please get the likes up right now because we have these hot seat questions coming hot. Here we go. You ready for these, Uncle Mike?
I'm ready as my slow brain will ever be.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Coming in hot. Favorite ball python morph?
Oh, how about a normal ball python?
Perfect. How about this? Favorite monitor species?
Varanus similis.
Least favorite monitor species?
Oh, I'm going to have to say, why won't he, the tricolor, because they just don't do good in captivity.
Dude, they're mean. That's one mean motherfucker right there.
But they're so beautiful, and I hate to see them just waste away like they always do.
If it's one monitor that Desiree and Steven keep that kind of puts me on edge is the goddamn tricolor, man. Like that.
They still working with those?
Yeah, they have I think they have a trio.
Very good.
Yeah, they're growing it up. Okay, moving forward. How about this? Yay imports or boo imports, Uncle Mike?
Yay imports.
One reptile you would import to your collection anywhere around the world, what would it be?
Man, a Turatara.
One reptile nobody should ever import. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
You know what? As crazy as it is, it's the truth. The sulcata. Leave them things alone.
God bless the turtles and tortoises. Leave them alone. Just don't touch
them alone.
Baseball or football?
Football. And I don't really give a shit about sports, period, except if it's combat sports.
Favorite UFC fighter?
Of all times, I'll have to say Dan Severn.
How about favorite UFC fight of all time?
Oh, man. All right. How about Diego Sanchez, Gilbert Melendez?
Wow, dude. Oh, my God. I like the weight class you chose right there.
Yep.
I got to say, man, I went to Couture Liddell round 2 in Vegas when Liddell won.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fucking like, I'll never forget that moment. The just the yelling and what happened in that moment. But man, that's why you love combat sports. It's like nowadays gladiator shit. It's what like us humans need that shit. Like we need it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So let me say this. Along with that, when Randy Couture, when Tim Silva won the heavyweight belt, and Randy Couture, in his brain, he said, I know this guy's weakness.
Yeah.
To see that guy pick that giant apart, that was beautiful.
And I hated fucking Tim Silva, bro. Because he fucking took out Orlovsky. Orlovsky was my favorite fighter back then.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'll never forget.
Another Chicago guy.
Yeah. The Pitbull. You know what I mean? That guy was the man, bro. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward. Here we go. How about this? If you had a collection of ball pythons, would you mist them or spray them, or would you not mist them or spray them?
I guess I'd miss them every now and then.
Would you ever cut a ball python egg, or would you never cut a ball python egg?
Oh,
Because you did say you would cut a monitor egg at a certain point, and you
absolutely.
Have. We've talked about that.
And probably I would with, but I wouldn't want to do it all the time, like every clutch, you know.
So if it was that's Uncle Mike, let him pip, is what you're saying.
Let him pip. After pipping, cut him open.
How about this? AC/DC or Kiss?
Oh, I'm an old guy. Kiss.
Uncle Mike. Dude, what are their hits? Okay. Like, what has Kiss done? Like, as far as like really good music. Okay. Can we talk about this, Uncle Mike? I can't believe you just said Kiss. I can't believe it.
Well, you need to know the background. So
yes, sir. I'm listening.
I'm on vacation. Every year, my grandma and grandpa would take me, my sister, and my brother to Florida. We would drive across country from Chicago to Florida. And then check this out. We're in a friggin' Howard Johnson eating in the Hojo, and I'm having my spaghetti and meatballs, and I look up, and here comes Kiss. They walked in a restaurant in full makeup, and now I was probably 10 or 12 years old. I looked up, I choked on a fucking meatball. I was like, holy shit.
My granny, she's telling me, go get their autograph. I looked over at them guys in their giant shoes and their capes and all. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I like them, but I don't want to get my head bit off. So yeah, I go way back with Kiss.
All right. Well, there has some attachment. That's your granny. Here's the thing. I'm a big Elvis guy because my grandma loves Elvis, bro.
Yep.
I gotta tell you. And you know, anyone wants to bash Elvis or Michael Jackson, you got a problem with Michael Jackson? You come see me, please.
But wait, you're like new age Michael Jackson or Jackson 5?
We're talking about before his nose fell off. We're talking like
I got you.
Like
Jackson 5, that's good shit.
But dude, he never fondled any kid either. Can we really let's think about the celebrities that could capitalize on this, and they never said he did that to them. Like come on, like he was. I know things got weird, bro, but he did not he touched no boy's wee wee. You know what I mean? I'm a strong believer in that. I don't know. I'm scared to ask you how you think.
Hey man, I don't know, but let's just put it this way. If he came to me and said, Mr. Stefani, can one of your boys sleep in my magic kingdom? Fuck no, dude. See you in the morning. That's all.
I would have been like, Connor, get your ass in there right now. You're good. You better video this.
Shit.
No, honestly, it's obviously like the way you look. Okay, the way you said that, like I get it. Like I would be like, whoa, okay, hold on.
Yeah, you know, it depends. I mean, you got to put it in context.
It really does. All right, here we go. Moving forward. All right, Uncle Mike. Little word association. First thing to come to mind: monitor enclosure.
Custom.
Best first-time monitor species to work with.
Green trees.
Less like the most least first monitor species to work with, like the one to just like, no, don't go that route.
I would say the Waiwonis, the Uonis.
God bless. Okay. Stuck shed.
Soak.
Egg bound.
Ooh, egg bound. You don't want to be there.
Yeah. I'm thinking nesting issues too, right?
Yeah, nesting. That's get your shit right so you don't get there, because once you're there, it's not a good place to be.
Milk.
Sucks.
So what the fuck? What the fuck? Sucks? Milk made you think of sucks? I love it.
I don't drink milk.
I love it. I love it. It's okay. Instagram trolls.
Weirdos.
If it came down to you eliminating one social media platform, is it going to be TikTok or Twitter? Which one needs to go, Uncle Mike?
I don't know nothing about Twitter, but TikTok got to go, man. Them Chinese got too much in this country. Fuck them. They're spying on us.
Dude, can you believe that TikTok, which is ran by the Chinese, right? They give their youth only certain educational stuff to follow and look at. Like it's limited, and they feed all the bullshit to us, and we're all brain fucked.
Absolutely. They use theirs to advance their society, advance their children. They're using it for us. And God bless all the people who do it, but they're making us all dumb. I mean, you know,
they're laughing at us, which
they're laughing at us.
They've been laughing at us for years, bro. Like for years. So, what's crazy is here I am. You know, I remember being a child laughing at seeing Chinese, like having pictures of people in the country of China wearing masks. And I'm like, why are they wearing masks? Because what we're dealing with this whole mask fucking shit, they've been dealing with since the fucking 80s. You know what I mean? Like the whole pollution and what goes in our body, like the silent killer, they're all over that shit, bro. And we're just fucking spending money, being in debt, being fucking assholes. Like we're assholes, bro. Like we're assholes. It sucks.
And to be truthful, I mean, look at the size of that country and how many people live there. They got a lot more people than us, and they're all there. You know, it's communism, so they're all concentrated into certain areas. They keep their eye on their people, but that's what my fear is. That's going to come to this country. They want us all in these little cubicles where you sit on your bed and you fry your egg from this hand and you turn the bathtub on with this hand. They want to get us all, you know, compact together, and they've been that way for years. And shit spreads. I mean, they're on top of each other.
Yeah, but the more that the American is in control of their own life and in control of what they do, like I bless so many people out there that can hopefully do what I'm doing and doing what I love for a full time. Because once you do what you love and that's what provides the food on your table, everything changes, bro. Like you start to see everything that's like the fucking puppet master and the gimmicks and like, but here's the thing, man. This fucking country is built off the puppet master. It's built off the fucking corporate Americans, the people who could suck dick and work their way up the ladder. That's how this country's built. So you just got to move smarter. You don't have to be one of those people. I can tell you that much. I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
But anyways, Mike, I love you, man. They honestly, and listen, I don't say that lightly, Uncle Mike. I legitimately love you like my uncle. And hey, Uncle Mike, who's the first motherfucker to label you Uncle Mike in this hobby? Can we make that clear right now? Who's the original nephew of yours? Can we please talk about this?
You're the number one.
Uncle Mike, if anybody out there they got their shit together, they have the room and they want a Mertens or they want a Stefani production, how can they be on top of anything that you have for sale? What's the best way for people to follow you?
Facebook, Michael Stefani, Facebook, Mike's Monitors, Instagram, Mike's Monitors, YouTube, Mike's Monitors. You can catch me on all the socials. You could hit me up on text or private message, any of that shit. I'm more than happy to talk to people and help. I just want to see people succeed with these animals. So whatever I got to do to, and I really like to encourage young people coming up.
You've encouraged me, man. I gotta tell you that. Like, listen, I talk about and I gloat about the people who I'm mentored under. That makes me feel so happy and comfortable. You're on that roster of people that take care of me, Uncle Mike. I'm not the only one. You got Mason Barnes. You got many of other people that you are taking care of. So the hobby needs Uncle Mike Stefani. Thank you so much. It's a wrap. Mike Monitors, ladies and gentlemen.
God bless you guys. Thank you all.
Hey, listen, I'll see you in March, buddy. That's for sure.
Yep. Sounds good.
And I'll talk to you before then. Have a good night, Uncle Mike.
Okay, yeah. Good night, nephew. Good night, everybody.
Fuck, man. Understand that I'm so man, I'm telling you, half my identity is from the East Coast, okay? So when I talk to people like John, Gary, Shabino, Mike Stefani, these are like uncles I wish I was still tapped in and close with, that I'm really not, just because life's life. What are you going to do with life? Life takes you wherever it takes you. But I'm so happy where life has taken me, man. And God bless people like Mike Stefani, the whole Stefani family. I got to say, Sim Container, again, this episode was brought to you by John and Alex over at Sim Container. John, I respect you so much. Honestly, you are definitely, fuck, man. I'm telling you right now, like the unity of everything I have respect for in the monitor game is ridiculous, because everyone I look up to is connected to each other. You have Uncle Mike, you have John, you have Brian Waterloo, and they all respect each other. They're on a different level of respect, and just happy to be a part of this kind of fucking realm and to be a part of this era. You out there should be a part of this era. You should be proud about being a part of this era too, because what an era to be in, man. So thank you so much, guys. Make sure you hit the like button before you guys dip out. I appreciate it so much. I got to say, shout out to my Patreon members, because guess what? It's about Trap Talk Patreon time. The after party, the Trap Talk after party is about to go down. So if you want to join that after party, come fuck with us. Come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. After you join the Patreon, you get the link to the Discord, okay? Discord traps you in with over 150 people who are about their shit. And I got to say, the rest of this week is looking pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. Tomorrow, we have my boy, Doug Knacker, Hissy Fit Reptiles. Big supporter of mine, longtime supporter of mine. I had the privilege of meeting Doug finally at Tinley. And what a guy, man. Looking forward to tapping in with my boy, Doug. New Breed on the Block series. Let's see what this is all about. Go down to the link, set your reminder. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. Then after Monday, this Thursday night, like I've been telling you guys, we have our second, I guess, fucking edition of what I'm completing, I guess, at the end of this year, what I have going on. Listen, there's a lot of people that you guys would probably never imagine I'm going to bring to my show. And last week was one of them, right? Shout out to Josh over at Ball Python Shed. That was a great episode. If you didn't catch that episode, you don't know what the backstory is. Go catch that episode, not to be slept on, okay? But here we are, part 2 of 3 of this awesome segment that I have completing for 2022 Trap Talks. Holy shit, who's ready for this? Who would have thought? Donnie Rapture of Nerd. Oh my God, this is going to be sick. I can't wait. Any of my Real Deal Holyfield supporters out there knows how fucking epic this is going to be. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've spoken so much shit about this guy. It's fucking nuts. Like, seriously, hatred, shit. But, yeah, listen. I'm grown up. We got to move on. Can't be hating people. I mean, there's some people, and I'm not going to lie, Donnie was one of these people, but there's some people I just rather never fucking give 2 shits about, and fucking God bless them. Fucking who gives a fuck? But the fact that I'm able to talk to this guy and kind of us move forward and us kind of get our shit in the past and, let the water be under the bridge. Well, fuck, that's happening this Thursday night. Donnie Rapture of Nerd. Ha, who would have thought? It's going down. 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But guys, thank you so much. Holy Monitor session. It's a wrap. Zoom Trap Talk after party. I'll see you guys right now. Let's go. It's going down. Have a good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.